Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Look at this. We're going to go back to the roots. We're going to be playing Watson here for the next episode of the Spectating series for Season 15 of Apex Legends. Now, when I say we're going back to the roots, I really mean it. Oh, yeah, looks like we got a pretty decent squad here. We're going to be really following our squad. Now, if we get eliminated, we're going to spectate the rest of the lobby. We're going to do this for 2. It looks like we got a, wow, pretty stacked lobby. This is what happens early on. You got to remember that everyone resets down to, a tier and a half essentially. We're going to pass it to these two guys. Looks like we're also playing with randoms essentially. We're going to look at the flow of the lobby. We're going to be talking a lot in the series. I know sometimes we get comments, oh gosh, are they really relying on me to drop? Okay, what happens if I pass it? I will drop the next time around if they pass it. Okay, perfect. We'll drop hot. If we happen to get eliminated off the drop, we get eliminated off the drop. So if we look where everyone else is landing, we got a lot of teams landing here, meaning we might get eliminated early unless we veer off. Let's see if we hard contest. If we get eliminated, we're going to spectate the rest of the lobby. It's going to be okay. Looks like we're contesting, so I'm going to land right here and go right for the loot on the first floor. If not, I'll drop one floor right down below. Looks like they're going to beat us there, so I'm going to drop down one floor right down below so I don't get eliminated here pretty early on. Boom. We're going to drop down here. Looks like my teammate ran. Oh gosh, that's unfortunate, and we ran into another opponent here. Now, if we spectate and thinking about this early on here, this is not necessarily the best drop, but keep in mind we did pass it around, and I'm trying to, the ideal goal is to spectate. I'm not trying to throw. I was hoping my teammate would be here, and well, now we get back to the roots of spectating. Let's watch the rest of the lobby and let's see how it goes. Now we'll get rid of this here. There's multiple teams here. The ideal thing would have been to veer off and go to a different location, but if we are committing, you stick with your teammates and you full commit. If you know it's not good and you want to be the jump master, take control and go to a safe spot. You saw there's probably about 3 or 4 teams that are located here, and it was definitely going to be a pretty rough draw across the board. I literally ran downstairs as fast as possible after the fact, and I just adjusted the volume so we can hear, just in case we hear footsteps overall here on the match. So we got a team here. It looks like they lost one, but they're hunkering down. Now this map is very third-party heavy. Now the biggest parts of third-party heavy are going to be, watch this, nice crossfire here. So they managed to get both different angles, but he got scanned from the back end and he's pinging where the other opponent is. Honestly, in this scenario, it lets you want to drop KP. This is pretty much just going to scream to get out and reposition because you did get scanned in the back as well. So another team is fighting. Hopefully he's got the resources to top off. He should just run at this point. That's what I would do if I was trying to minimize as much KP as possible. Look at that good elimination. Swap. Doesn't want to swap. That's perfectly fine. Ideal situation would be to swap. Look like a panic throw there, which is perfectly fine. But you want to get out and reposition. That's going to be pretty much your overall goal. So it looks like these teammates are all pretty much locked in together here. And now they got plenty of time to loot. If you were the team, notice how this team looked like they were the team who pushed in all last minute together. That's why they're the most kitted, they have the most loot. If you are expecting to drop and get a floor to yourself and not getting contested when you see 4 teams, you're most likely going to drop RP. And if your teammates just are debating and arguing about like who's the jump master, like you saw there, take lead and jump. I didn't jump. I let them control the pacing of the game because if I get eliminated, we're here to spectate. Remember the rules of what we spectate here. We try not to throw our games. We follow our teammates. We follow their lead, and we do the best we can of what's given to us. Now, a comment that when we did an interview with Thunder Meow, who was the youngest Apex Legends Predator in the game, the question was brought up, what if your teammates aren't very good? Well, if your teammates aren't very good, that's not a problem because then they could be effectively used as your meat shields, but you have to play safe. You have to play patient. So when we talk about the map and the flow, they're pretty close to Promenade. Promenade is literally the center point, and if you're looking for a place that's third-party heavy and for KP, you pretty much go Promenade. This is a nightmare area. Stasis Ray has a good access to it. Core, this zip line goes, or the rails go right there. Terraformer, if this was a hot drop, is going to be right there. Cultivation is going to always push in. If we look at the zone, now it looks like it's going to pull towards production yard. Most likely it'll pull towards the north side. And that's what it looks like where they're pinging now as well. This team is, well, it looks like we got into a pretty high tier lobby. Diamond, I mean, that's perfectly fine. Happens when you go into early plat. You're essentially going to be facing a lot of masters, maybe Preds who are starting late in the season if they're late on their grind. Or maybe just somebody who was masters who grinded from gold and now is ranked up in platinum. This is a pretty solid comp. You got your scan ledge, you got your beacon, Loba. Looking at this comp, you question who's going to be the entry fragger. Honestly, I guess you could say the Bloodhound and the Loba, the Valkyrie will be your off angle essentially. Think about the comp you have, and sometimes when you're playing with randoms, the comp that you're given can be a little weird. It can be a little strange. It looks like they're opting to rotate in the south side. Notice that this team is deciding to go this route. They're not going through Promenade. If you go through Promenade, The best comp you can have is one that's going to be able to hunker down. So maybe if you run, let's say, a Caustic, a Catalyst, even Seer is a great counter to teams that wanting to push. So it looks like they got a team here. The Valkyrie needs to get height immediately. Ideally, if they're going to overtake this, the Bloodhound should scan once they get closer to the building. There's a scan that goes out. Remember how I said they want to get height as much as possible? And you want to assess armor type. So now they got a purple, and they need to back up and reassess here and get a bat off and reposition. So they know they got purples, and they're getting shot. It looks like they jumped on them. And now they have a, well, essentially a 2v1 scenario here. So let's go switch POV over to the Loba. They did do quite a bit of damage, but the reset time here is already passed by 5 seconds, meaning that if they were going to pop a bat, they're pretty much all cleaned up. At this point, the only thing they can do is pray. That's a really weird lag. Do you see that? That was a little either that was a spectator lag or that man was like had curving bullets there. Now, why are we spectating this team all the way over here? Okay, interesting. Usually what happens is you end up spectating the team that got eliminated there, but we didn't. We end up getting spectating all the way over here. So they're running. Seer is just really, really strong. Horizon as well is really, really strong as well. And the reason why is because Seer provides the information just like this, so they don't get run up on, so they know exactly what they're dealing with. Now, this side of the building is really difficult to push. Oh, it looks like they're just kind of getting... I think I have spectator lag. Let's just assume that this is lag that I'm getting. What is my ping? 45? Interesting. All right, well, honestly, it was just spectator lag. I've been getting that a lot recently for some reason. But, you know, hey, at least we're able to assess. So it looks like the Seer's out of the fight until they can top off. And it looks like the Seer ult. Remember how I said the Seer ult is a great counter to scare off teams, but also assess with the situation? It looks like a team is fighting. If they're going to third, they should push right now with a Seer ult. Let's see if the Seer is going to push in for an ultimate. Throw it at the base of the building would be the ideal situation. They need to go now. They're hesitating. If they're hesitating, it means they shouldn't really push anymore. The push is already gone. So it looks like they're opting just to move away. Their hesitation right there, when we count it, we go back 10 seconds, they should have already pushed that. That should have been their fight, and they should have already pushed. So it looks like another team is rotating in, so it's not a bad thing. Zone 1, because it now closes much slower. In case you don't know, it went from 60 seconds now closes at 90 seconds. So look how much slower that is. If they went in there and pushed, look how much time that they did have. Most people are still used to the older zone. Realize zone 1 closes much slower than it did before. That was an adjustment in the patch notes. It's a helpful tip, especially on this map early on for the third parties. Now, at least they have their KP. This isn't a bad decision to do that, by the way. If you got your KP and you want to go play end zone, you go play end zone. Remember we saw us pulling production yard? They don't know that quite yet, but whenever they do have a trek ahead of them. Fighting outside a zone, unless you have an aggro comp, they are actually running an aggro comp, is best to pretty much play edge, is what they're pretty much doing. Now, if you're running, let's say, a Watson Caustic, ideally you probably just want to go to zone and use that stopping power or be in the center of an absolute massacre of a fight to the third party. So it looks like he's pulling up stuff here. Seer, gosh, it's just, there has to be an adjustment for Seer. He's so good. They unfortunately got cracked. Let's take a look at where the Pathfinder positioning. They're giving up height. This is a down. Ooh, my gosh, that's really unfortunate. The biggest thing is to always play on top of the building. There's a Seer ult to counter the push. They can still clutch this out. He's definitely going for a flank here. Gets a knock. Now we got a 2v. Oh, unfortunately he went down. You want to hold the outside of the building as much as possible to get that power position. Hopefully he pumps a bat here. The bat is not going to come up in time, but it does manage to potentially knock the Vantage. Now this team has a few seconds to reset here. The best that you could do is drop an armor for your teammate to help them with the reset. So let's say the Vantage, well, she's going to pop a Phoenix kit. Let's see if they got it in them. Nope. Dropping those armors really helps a ton. It looks like they canceled their Phoenix kit because of that. That's why we drop armors. Because of the Seer meta. The Seer meta is just that insane. And this fight wasn't necessarily clean. I think they could have won it if they held the top of the building. If you hunker down in the building, you better be running a Catalyst, Watson, or anything. But even then, you use it as your second line of defense. If you go inside of a building, these buildings are easily breachable. Man, this guy's just leaving his teammate. I mean, props to them. They know when to get out. They might be playing with randoms and it's respectable. At this point, you got your KP, you don't want to drop any more points, you run and you get out. And that Vantage does have utility to get out, and unfortunately just wasn't able to get out. So now we're going to go into the mode of what we call ratting. If you have never heard the term ratting before, and you're this far into the series, I think that's pretty crazy, but listen, let's explain what a rat is. A rat is somebody who's all by themselves, and they're all alone in the world. You are a rat. You're trying to survive, you're trying to hide. Now, I also from New York. Well, I grew up in Texas, but I'm from New York, and rats, my gosh, they're everywhere, and they always they go and hide, right? So now with them running around hiding, this is the best play that they have, because ideally they're going to run to zone. They're pretty far from it, and usually when you rat, you want to find locations like this edge right here, you know, maybe towards the building over here. You don't necessarily want to run through the center unless you're probably Valcolting. And even then, if you find yourself a spot, it's pretty hard to do. You do this when you got your points, and especially if you're playing with randoms. Now they're +4. If they get top 5. They're at least going up, potentially. You know, even their teammates, 25 points, maybe 30. It's a decent size, and it's not a bad amount. We're getting the spectator mode. Spectating has been a little rough, hasn't it, recently? It's getting a lot of weird lag and getting a lot of weird shots. Unless this person is laggy, but nonetheless, the rotation in. You just got to book it as fast as possible. And even if you're playing a defensive comp, this is the same thing you would want to do. You would want to go into zone and you want to hunker down and you want to gate. We call gating, like if you were going to gate, I think we hear a team that's flying right near them. Did you hear that? I heard it. At this point, like a gating spot would be this building here, holding this building to gate this section, holding this spot to gate this section, or holding the height around this area to gate. There's a lot of different areas that you can essentially gatekeep. Gatekeeping is the fastest way to gain RP and get the upper hand of an opponent. Because if they're gating this building, they're holding the top of the building, and this team needs to rotate either left or the right, great spot to hold. And like if you've never played this map before, that's how you find those spots. This isn't a great rat spot per se, because all you can do is just get run up on. And if a seer's running by, which they're going to do when they rotate, trying to think ahead of time of what a seer is going to do. I find seers really annoying. If a team's rotating, they always pull out their hands. They're going to find you. Essentially, you need to go towards like an edge area. Where would a team not traverse through? And that's also a good idea to rotate when you're trying to, as a full stack and you're late. Where's the team not going to traverse to? They're going to traverse here because if they see this building's free, they're going to be around this area. And that radius from Seer is pretty large. And the Bloodhound scan, looking for footprints, it lasts for a good while. Remember, you can sit there and see tracks for 60 seconds. It's pretty crazy. So you got to keep that in mind. And there's a lot of, like, maybe a Valcult team is flying up above. Think ahead. If you can think 2 steps ahead, you're going to be much better for it. Now, if you rely on luck like this individual is doing right now, by all means, rely on luck. You'd be surprised at stuff that people pull in these lobbies, and that it can surprisingly work. I still think that the best play would be to go towards the edge rather than an area where a team will most likely run through. Let's see how lucky they get with the zone. It's going to pull most likely through production yard. Let's see here. Oh, wow, okay. Well, that area would still be a pretty good rat spot if they were going there early, but there most likely would be a team there now. Probably playing these edge of these rocks somewhere and hiding across an area would be ideal. They're pretty close to zone, so this isn't bad. Keep in mind, when you get to this point in the lobby, it starts to really slow down. Now, I know most people get really, really annoyed with playing slow. Okay? There's not a bad thing to play slow, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why is that when you get to the end zone for this, look how slow this plays. The pacing always relatively, when we play the next round, you're going to see it always goes around this pacing. Unless there's a massive fight around Promenade, even then it'll drop, and then the pacing in the lobby slows down. And you want to get to endgame, because that's where you get the top 5, that's where you get your points. You can come around this point. Let's say you have 10th place, and you have 7 KP. You're not going to benefit as much as you would 5th place with a fraction of the eliminations. And that's just the unfortunate reality, is that sometimes it's best to slow down your game. And it looks like they found another rat. So it looks like they eliminated a seer in the kill feed there. So unfortunate, but it could be why the pacing of the lobby is so slow. Keep in mind, you can do the math as well. 7 squads remaining, 18 individuals. Looks like they hear something there potentially. Let's see what's going on here. This is going to be a rough rotation for them. The ideal thing for them to do would be to Valcult at this point. They might push through. Ooh, Rev Totem. That's a little rough. If you hear shots, this is a perfect time to rotate. You would run now. Perfect. Now they're gone. But there you go. Like, you're waiting for cover fire and a moment to rotate. Now, the downside is that this is a really great spot to hold. This is a pretty good rat spot right here. This isn't that bad. So that building could be unoccupied and not a bad area to pretend you want to be a 3-stack if you want to get involved. Another option would be to third-party that team and take some shots if you got some range. Why not go for it and just kind of say, I want to get involved with this. I've done that many times, and sometimes you can clutch out. Let's say if you're running Vantage or you happen to run a sniper, or even like the R301 and beam somebody who falls back and heals and then clutch that kill, and there you go. Because if you have no KP. This person has KP. So remember how we said it was going to be around like 25 to 30 points and we're already plus 19 for this individual? That's not half bad. What I've done as Watson is I pretended I'm a full 3 stack unless they have a scan legend, and I'll go hold a building and pretend like I'm 3 people and hold the top of it. Sometimes people get fooled by that, and they think, oh man, that guy's really confident. Sometimes exuding confidence can deter a team, and sometimes it does it. Sometimes you're going to have to just play your cards the best you can. This is a pretty good rat spot, though. This is going to pull probably towards this area, I guarantee it. It'd be very strange if it pulled up to the north. Watch it pull up to the north. You can always guess based on where best geometry is and where the zone is going to pull. Sometimes the zones pull in very unorthodox spots, but they generally have a pretty good pattern of pulling towards good geometry, quote unquote, because I mean they try to improve the zones. Let's see if it actually does it here. Yeah, see? I mean, it could pull up here. It's kind of illogical to do that, and if it pulls down here, most of the time their quote-unquote algorithm will pull towards geometry that makes sense, unless you're playing on a map like Storm Point and it pulls out in the water in the middle of nowhere. I've seen that happen, and it is insane. I really question why in the world that was actually programmed as a final zone, but hey, sometimes you just get final zones that make no sense. This one makes sense. This is a great. These buildings are your ideal points. This team is going to struggle. This team should struggle here out in the open, and the rat, yeah, there's very limited options for them. And there's a fight. Now they're fighting, you go find a spot to rat. Now the other option of what he could do is wait until the last moment and just literally hug the zone and hope the zone makes a bunch of noise. Because it does. It makes a bunch of noise. It can cover your footsteps and your tracks for you. That's an option. But again, whenever you run any situation, review your VOD, and you really just have to kind of play the odds. How good is this lobby? If the lobby's really, really good, then your rat spot of maybe getting into zone may be a little too difficult. Now, if the lobby's that good, then maybe going in late would be probably ideal. If they're really bad, then sometimes you can go secure space and people are afraid to push. Right now, it seems like we're in the, again, top 5 plus 39 points. Pretty solid. The teammates did stay. Remember, the question that always gets asked, what do I do? How long do I wait? You wait as long as you need to. Your patience is really key when it comes to ranking. You better set aside at least a solid hour or 2. Oh, are they going to DC? Oh my gosh. No, they're just standing. Okay, another tip. Pulling out your weapon makes noises. Healing makes noises. Believe it or not, people's vision is actually, they're like T-Rexes. I know actually it's been proven that T-Rexes have actually really good vision now, so that meme's kind of dead. But nonetheless, oh gosh, they have such a bad rotation in here. They're gonna see them. I guarantee they got a scan legend that maybe they hold the side of the building like right underneath, right there. Oh, how lucky are they gonna get though? If they got a scan legend, they're dead. They gotta maybe hug the zone with it. If it was me at this point, I would just run. I'll just go for it. And if you get scanned, you get scanned. People's vision will see things that, oh, that's definitely in, are based on like movement and stuff. So like if something stands still, sometimes you think it's part of the geometry. Oh, he's not in. That's unfortunate. So how do I know that? You see the map is blinking. For most people that don't know this tip, the map will continue to blink until you're in. So ready? Once it stops blinking, he's in. He's gonna stop. He can stop. So at this point, that's how you know whether you're in or not. He's lucky this team doesn't have a scan legend. Oh, maybe they do. He's dead. Yep, he's dead. What? No way. Don't shoot. Trigger discipline, ladies and gentlemen. Trigger discipline. This is something to teach right here. Do not shoot. Do not shoot. Do not shoot. Do not shoot. Oh my God. Thank God he didn't shoot. This person may play CSGO or Valorant. This is what we call trigger discipline. Do not get too hyper excited, especially when you see a team rotating in the open and you don't want your presence to be known. That's a major tip. Something I don't think I've ever really talked about in a lot of my tips and guides. Trigger discipline. Look how much time and potentially just saved himself a potential 3rd place here. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. Trigger discipline is so important. So there's the Valkyrie, the one we just saw, got a knock, and now they're inclined to potentially leave their spot. And they're not paying attention to this person whatsoever, which is great. And they have a Bloodhound, so that is their scan legend, but they didn't scan their back. No reason to, because why would anybody rat here, is always a thought process. Again, if you're playing Bloodhound and you're holding the zones, scan your back. Make sure that nobody's there. Some good tips. So these are good counter tips too. At this point, what I would do as a Valkyrie is I would take height. I would go up on height at this point because the team, I believe, did push in. Now, the alternative would be to, again, wait till the last minute with zone to secure 3rd place. But I would actually start shooting and take height. Trigger discipline. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, my gosh. They're about to get 3rd. They're right there. I mean, this is going to be really close. That team on the right has to push in. This team on the left has to push in. What they can do is try to be a part of this team. Well, hold here. Don't push any further. Don't push any further. Just hold, 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 hold. Oh, man. This guy's actually pretty good with ratting. It's pretty solid. So we got one team above, one team on the right, and one team in it, looks like, already there. Oh, I guess the team above did. All right, wait right here. Oh, he's in. He's in. He's in. Oh, they're going to push him. He's dead. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy! Oh, unfortunate. Let's keep watching. Let's see how these last teams play out. This team actually has the best advantage here because of their building. They can actually pull some height here. Looks like there's already a knock there. They got to reset. So if you notice how teammates aren't healing right away, make sure your teammates are healing. Tell them to reset. Remind them to heal. This person's overextending, shooting through a wall for some reason because of the seer ult. That was blatantly a rock in the way. What are you doing, man? All they got to do is not get greedy and hold. Now they can shoot at this angle here. Look at that. Get the knock. Get the knock. That's your opportunity. Very nice. Now top off. Don't get greedy. See how they're not topping off? It drives me crazy. Listen, top off. Don't get greedy on your heals. Don't let the deficit get the advantage of you. A good swap there for heals. Now all you got to do is wait. That's a Kraber on the far right. They just got to play patiently here. That's actually, I think that's a longbow actually. But they do have the advantage because I think one of them did get knocked. So if they can work their way in and get a crack, that'd probably be ideal here. This team should win though. Yeah. They got a knock. Push on this. Throw your ultimate. Throw your seer ultimate. You win these. I've never seen you lose. Look at that. Throw your seer ult. Throw your seer ult. Push in. Jump pad. Q. Throw a bang ult. Throw your seer ult down if you have it. I mean, I might have already used it. I'm over here cheering for them now. They got this. Don't let them rest. Dude, they're letting it rest. Oh man, no, you're letting it reset. There was a knock there. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. You let them reset now now we're on equal footing here. What are we doing? Like, I don't even know if the bang had her ultimate, but like, if there was a knock, throw the bang ult and push forward, something. Get them to stop the res. I know that the Q was thrown out, but oh no. Now we're literally on equal footing on this. They could lose. There's a potential here. It was more secured before. Oh, they got this. That was a good pack. They win. They got it. They got it. I guess they didn't get the res on the third? Huh. All right, well, they got it. As long as they got it. I was nervous for them. That was so much time. Like, if this was a hot, like, I mean, we're already playing, like, master lobbies, but if this was, like, a pred lobby, I guess, like, there's no way. No way. That was so much time. All right, well, let's get into the next round here for round 2 and see how it plays out. Let's see if we get to spectate the whole lobby again. It's kind of nice to spectate a lobby again. Usually I didn't even get to do any damage. I went in and got a gun and I was already shot in the back. Unfortunate, but hey, made a play. Went down a couple points. It's okay, easy to get back, not a big deal. And we go again for round 2. The matchmaking has been a lot slower this season. Now, I heard a rumor, somebody in the comment section, please comment. Oh, that was fast. That they changed how the lobbies merge. I saw Imperial Hal talk about it. I don't understand what that changes. And I did some research on it, and I was scouring Reddit, and I couldn't really find a complete answer on what they changed and what they did. So please comment down below. Let me know if you know what they changed or what's going on. They said, oh my God, it's you. Hello. Hello. I'm actually recording for the spectating series, so I'm trying not to throw, but this is a spectating series. This is my second round, so you're going to be in the video. So don't worry about throwing. Hopefully I don't throw, but I'll be following you. The whole premise, you've seen the spectating series. That's what it's all about. But I'm going to watch the whole lobby. We'll see how this whole lobby plays out. So if you're curious, you should watch how the rest of the lobby plays. Let's put on the microphone. So. I don't know. All right, let's see how it goes. We'll pass it to him.
Trust me.
I'll pass it. I don't know if you guys are queued together. If not, I can drop it somewhere. Let's see what they decide to do. I mean, I could take it. Maybe they're waiting. We'll see. I don't mind. The places, by the way, I like to land are core because it's near Promenade, Dry Gulch. This section of the map right here is really, really nice. I really like Cultivation because of the way you can hide behind the centerpieces and everything. Those are really, really nice. I really like those. Bionomics is okay, but a little too far out, that's why I prefer Cultivation. Eternal Guard is a lot of fun. I love the way the POI looks. Not the best drop, but pretty fun nonetheless. I like to drop right in the center where all the loot is, and then pretty much third party either north or south, depending on which team is fighting. Unless I'm the one fighting, and then at least we have a reset time before this team runs over to us. That's my personal approach to this map, and what I prefer. Looks like we're dropping Dry Gulch, so I'm going to ping here, and we'll see where we go. So I meant to look around. So we got the trails over on the north side. Looks like we're uncontested. So this portion of the video, what I can describe, is people were talking about how do you loot efficiently. I'm going to show you how you loot efficiently. There you go. So you got all your loot. I got a beautiful loadout. That was perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better loadout. I got a Sentinel and R301 in my inventory. I'm all set. Got that. Boom. So I got my mid-range. Ideally, the problem with this loadout is it's more for mid to long. I could also trade it out for a shotgun, but because I'm more spectating here, I'm going to run a mid-range loadout here. I prefer to run my 2X on the R301 over the Sentinel. I love the iron sights on the Sentinel. And then now you've looted the POI. So you're going from place to place and you loot. So I didn't loot that building as efficiently. But your goal is to be as big and broad with your loot and as fast as possible. The longer you take looting, the... Looks like they're fighting. We might be able to go third that. There's potential there. Okay, I don't need that. I'm going to drop that. For some reason I thought I was running heavy, even though I'm clearly running R301 and Sentinel. So it's a pretty good lineup. So what we could do here is third, or we can go for positioning. We heard the shots over on the north side. I don't mind thirding. Our loadout, we have armors. Now, if we had white armors, I would probably say let's go rotate and get more loot. So that's the question that most people bring up. When do I stop looting? Well, if all of you guys have blue and there's some purple in the mix, you go fight. You have the armor advantage. So if we go over here and we see a team that is in shambles, we have the advantage, and you always want to bank on the advantage. You guys want to go third this? You want to go to zone? See what they say. Okay. I'm gonna go just look over here and see what's going on. If they've wrapped up, we might want to just go to zone. One knocked on roof. Oh, they're fighting. They're fighting. No, wait. Take shots down. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. They're running. Don't do what I did. I stood out a little too long in the open. I'm out of the fight. I'm medkitting. And I'll be able to push in. It looks like they all have blues for the most part. Alright, so they're hunkered down in there, which isn't necessarily the ideal situation for us. They have a seer. I shouldn't be looting, but listen, I do need at least a sight. There we go. Alright, much better. So I'm going to move up. I'm going to fence off this door. I think they're above. That'll hurt something. Oh, shoot. I'm going to take roof with them. Then I'll drop down. Oh, shoot. What the heck? Oh, they're really on height. That's unfortunate. I'm going to drop. I'm getting absolutely shredded. I'm getting picked on here. Yeah, I'm with you. Coming. I think another team thirded. That's probably what happened. That makes sense. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, why am I getting so hard focused? How I heard him. All right. Well, I played that pretty poorly. I'm not gonna lie. Put this gem here. Guess we want to go back. Let's see if I hope I don't whiff anymore. One knock on their team. Let's nade it. Arcing. Oh, that was a bad arc. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, I didn't really do very much. Kudos to the team. So that guy who's watching, you guys are already playing way better than I was. I was just pretty much target. I was bait, man. Straight up. My arc was horrible. Don't throw arcs like me. That was bad. Thank you, thank you. Clearly in the armor if I'm going to be the one picked on and playing poorly. So the arc was bad. I should have thrown it better. My push was poor because I got shot. Team on the left.
Enemy in sight.
Team of 3. 131 Bloodhound. Bloodhound's really low. I'm going to be overextending on this. It's unfortunate he got the reset. See if we can take another angle here. Knocked. We're beaming, boys. Let's go. Finish him. Oh shit, what the hell? What happened here? Oh shit. Cracked. That guy's really low up top. Guy's low up top. Coming.
Scanning the area.
I'm gonna thermite it. Am I lagging? Oh my gosh, what happened to my ping? Cracked Horizon above. I'm lagging like crazy. I took low ground. It was dumb of me. Shoot. We lost. GG's. I don't know what happened with my ping. Dude, if you ever watch the video, like, you'll look at my lag. Like, I just started lagging like crazy. I've also heard complaints about that about the servers recently. Looks like they're doing armor swaps. GG's, Vin. Good games. So I played it better there towards the end. I started beaming. The first fight, I played like crap. I'm not going to lie. But that's okay. So if we continue to watch the rest of the lobby here, I got the strong knock. Now, the goal overall is to not go down. So remember how earlier I was making a lot of mistakes? As long as you don't go down, then you're pretty much good to go. Just don't get dropped is the overall goal. The hard part there is that we got some pretty solid beams. We got a knock. Just make sure, even if you are really low in HP and you got a knock, if you notice any of your teammates get a knock, just try to reset and then play things a little bit more patiently. So things that went wrong initially, if we were to self-assess the initial push, I was pretty much the bait in the target practice. I could have held some different angles and waited a lot more patiently. So I went up to the door without information, knowing where the team was on the left. I took height without knowing information if there was somebody on the roof. I did hear somebody. I probably shouldn't have gone up to begin with up there. The third party that we did at the very end was perfect. The arc star was bad, and my push-in was I hesitated, and so therefore I didn't get my initial KP. Now, the third party there was a lot better, the angles I was taking. I think everything was okay up until I let them pretty much have the high ground. Now, what I should have did once I got the knock, if I should have been a little bit more self-aware that my teammates are fighting. As they were fighting, that's whenever I should have went over to the right and capitalized on the fact that maybe the other person was isolated over there. Then it would have been a 3v1 or 2v1. And even if they got the res, at that point it could have been a 2v2 scenario. So if you're looking at how to self-assess your gameplay and we think back, that's pretty much what you can do. I did good. I did the most damage on the team, but that doesn't matter if I'm not playing with a teammate. So that's how I would self-assess. So pretty solid. Hopefully the guy watches the video. I feel really bad that I started I don't know why. It just started pinging out of nowhere. Like, I got server icons and everything, and now it's fine. Back down to 40 milliseconds. I don't know what's up with the rank lobbies recently, but I have been noticing a lot of lag. So this team, top, what did we finish at? Top 10. It's not bad, honestly. We're probably going to drop RP for the day, but at least we got to spectate. So there's always a plus side. If I get eliminated early, then I get to spectate. If I don't, then I guess I go up RP. It'd be easy to get this RP back anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. So this team came in, the third party, this is their first fight pretty much. If we were to look, core is a good spot to hold. They're holding the buildings, it's not a bad spot either. If they were on the south side, bridge is a pretty decent spot to hold. This is a pretty decent spot to hold. The downside is you have to work your way either that way or that way. So look at the map, look at your choke points. This is these guys seem to know what they're doing, so pretty good positioning here overall. Their loadouts seem pretty strong as well. Man, I felt really good about the beams though. When I'm on, man, you definitely feel on. The thing that you're trying to avoid is the moments where you feel a little less consistent. What do you do and how do you improve? That's what you need to focus on, and I do try to do the same thing. All right, all they got to do is hold the roof, and they pretty much win this. They're running double scan. They got themselves Seer and Bloodhound. That's a pretty nasty combo with a Horizon. Phew, man, this comp is crazy. You got all the intel and information in the world, and you can take height whenever the heck you want. It's a hard comp to counter. If you were to counter this, the only thing you can do is just kind of slow them down, because their goal is to push everything. And even when they're hunkered down, let's say right now they were to get shoved, they would throw it on a Seer ult and they would scan to freeze you in place essentially, because they have information. That's scary to run into. So that looks like a team on the south side got top 6. That's not bad. Now keep in mind, one thing to do is you don't always need to shoot, because otherwise then you make your presence known. Like, if you don't want to make your presence known right away, then don't shoot. Now if you got a sniper, shoot. If you got all the ammo in the world, then go for it. Looks like we're getting the server icon again. It's weird. Alright, whatever. It's okay. And it dropped again. These servers have been really strange. Comment down below if you've been having issues with the ranked servers. I know I saw NRG Sweet tweet about it, saying he was having issues with the servers as well. I didn't have the. I guess I've been seeing it. It's been a little inconsistent. I wonder why. I actually really wonder why. I don't really have an answer for it. But nonetheless, looks like this team wants to kind of rock and roll. So again, what they're gonna do, they see the person on that person's isolated on the right. The Horizon, if they wanted to get aggro, could throw her ultimate. And this team does get a little too close, and the Seer should throw the ult down. to slow them down. Let's see if the Horizon's out. There she goes. Good amount of damage. She should ult. Oh, there we go. This Horizon knows what she's doing. Let's go. They should push on that. I guess they're not. They'll just hold. It's fine. So now they're doing the Seer ult to stop this team from pushing forward on him. And they got their ult to stop them. So it's just non-stop ults. The Seer ult, man, is... As much as it's a use offensively, people forget the power of using it defensively. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty scary to push a Seer ult because you're just pretty much giving away your positioning. I don't even know how you would nerf the ult at this point, just because it's been a staple of like who Seer is. I don't even know how you would nerf Seer. A lot of damage there. At this point, the Seer could just keep rotating over to the left if they want to push. There he goes. He's going to try, but he's a little low on HP. Then lead it up to somebody else. They do have to get this team out, unfortunately. Otherwise, they're going to get rocked in the back. So they have to do something here soon. Oh, okay. Looks like the other team's getting pushed. Good queue up, though, for damage. Essentially, what you want to do with a Horizon always is the one in the front's the most isolated. Wasn't able to do much. Get him on the cross, get him on the cross, get him on the cross. There you go, 120. You push these guys. You win these. You fight this, too. But don't take too long because there's a team on the right. Don't get too excited. Get one knock and then let probably one of them go. All right, back up, back up. Oh, he's close fine. That guy stayed? That's crazy. Now they got to worry about their backs. There they go. They're pushing forward. Get out, get out, get out. This is where you're pretty much just traversing, trying to avoid the third. And they have a fourth party, by the way. There's a team over here. There's a team right there. They can just reset. They're pretty much golden. They chill here. They're good. That was a good fight. Good cleanup. They did it pretty fast and efficiently. That's a good example of how you want to pull away from these fights. Because now the other team isn't really going to push. They might, but they have reds. This Bloodhound is taking forever to heal. Do they not have big heals? You can heal when moving. Kind of bunny hop. Please heal. Prioritize your shield healing first. Now here's the tip. Most people don't know. Prioritize your shield healing first all the time. Because if you get hit and you start getting hit flush, then you'll get aim punch. And that ruins your shots. This is pretty solid. They're all in here. Got the crack. Push him, push him, push him. You win these, you win these. Oh, there's another team in there. Yeah, back up from that. Top 4. Don't want to get too greedy. There's a team over on the far left with the Kraber. That's pretty far. I wouldn't get greedy on this. I would wait. Unless I can stop that res or heal. Good crack, good amount of damage there. Now they got to be very careful here. Oh, there's the ult. Now they can move it with a lot more confidence. Oh man. But they have the ult. It's already moved a little forward. This is going to be pretty rough. They pretty much need to select one team to focus fire. One team. They either push inside or they fight the team behind them. Doesn't matter which one at this point, but they got to pick one. Just pick one. That's it. Right now, if you play wishy-washy, all that's going to happen is you're going to get sandwiched. And I don't know what kind of sandwich. Turkey with cheese? Who knows? Like, just don't get sandwiched. There you go. You got the crack. Go push that team. Don't worry. Like, get one of these guys out. Oh, my gosh. And you see how I said about the sandwich? You got to commit on one or the other. Otherwise, if you just kind of stay inside, this is what happens. So this team's going to push, and now the other teams will be like, oh, they engaged, and they're going to push in right behind them. And this team most likely is going to lose. There you go. He got shot in the back. You just have to pick one. It's so hard. It's so hard. Especially, I don't even know if they're all on comms. It's very difficult to just full send one of them. But now they're literally fighting with 6 people instead of 3. Even if they chose one, fighting for second place is better than getting third. And they go out in third place just because, you know, they push forward. They hear it. Because that's what you think about what you would do in that scenario. If you heard those shots, you do the exact same thing. Be like, oh, they're fighting. Let's go back in. And now this team has the strongest advantage. As long as they fight outside of the building, they got to get outside best they can. Because they have reds. They got to capitalize on that. They're not even running any scan legends. That's crazy. Kudos to them. I don't really run scan legends. Get the Kraber shot, get the Kraber shot. Big opening. Push, 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 push. You win these, you win these. This is your game. You won the fight. 3v2, you all have the red armors. Just shove. It's over. It's GG's. They won. It's over, man. GG's. That was a good episode. This is going to be a good episode. Leave a like if you enjoy the spectating series. Appreciate all of you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more of this. I think this is good. We kind of got back to our roots of the series. I was doing a lot of different changes of the series to kind of spice things up, but now we're going back to basics of the formula of spectating. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys on the channel for more content. Bye, everybody.